What's interesting when you take a look at Manchester City, we've discussed them a lot, obviously, in this incredible drop in form, is the fact that they have been in positions where they could go on and win the game. Yet, we've seen time and time again them give away goals, give away leads, and in the end, give away results. So does that kind of change the narrative, the conversation we have, Robbo? Because if you're in a situation where a team can go in front, can strike early, then surely there is potential there for them to be good again.
Yes, but what they've lost is complete faith in themselves to hold on to a lead. So when they're going out on the field now, when they used to score the first goal, they thought, well, the opposition aren't going to cause us too many problems. Our pressing is far too good for them. We'll make good decisions defensively. The opposition is so worried about how many we're going to score, they're not going to catch us on the counter-attack. But they've lost that indestructible image that everybody thought they had. Now they're too easy to counter-attack. But also mentally, I look at a lot of the Man City players and there's not that belief anymore. You know, we're playing, okay, we're scoring a couple of goals, but we're going to concede. There's so many things wrong. The decision-making, the lack of pace. And he's tried putting a bit more pace in the side, in the wide areas, but it still goes down. The defence is too slow. The midfield players are too slow. They don't close the ball down with the same intensity. Then they're bypassed. And because those players haven't had to make decisions defensively for so long, because they've never been put under that much pressure, now we're seeing that maybe they aren't such good players as we thought they were.
But they are players who won the Champions League, who've won the Premier League, 4 straight leagues. Surely there's something there. Surely it's a little switch that might just turn on for them to try and get themselves back into this sort of the championship mentality.
But we haven't seen it so far. You know, you keep thinking, as you say, they've scored the first goal. They've got players that have done it before. I want to see more of Haaland. I know people will say he's not getting as much of the ball, but he's now got to be a centre forward that's got to score his own goals as well. When the ball comes up, he's got to roll defence and smash it in the corner. He's got to run beyond people. He can't expect people to create goals for him all the time. If you want to be the world's best centre forward, you've got to score goals off your own back at times and score individual goals. The best players have always done that. And yes, there is still a spark when Savinho gets on the ball and Doku gets on the ball, but there's still not enough pace. And defensively, they don't look strong enough at the moment. And for that reason, even when they're 1 or 2-0 up, you know, go to the Feyenoord game when they were 3-0 up, they're still making defensive blunders.
Wednesday, the transfer window opens. If you're Manchester City, what is your number one priority?
I think you've got to go for, because people say, well, you want Rodri to come back, but they've got to go for another central midfield player who's got some legs. You know, and they've got to go, I would say, for a centre-half that's got some legs as well. Because, you know, I always used to say Walker was magnificent because he held the defence together because he had loads of pace and he made good decisions. He's now making bad decisions and he hasn't got the pace anymore. For some reason, over the last 6 months, his pace has diminished. So that's a major problem for them. And
also a problem, Sean, and we discussed this before, is the fact that if you're a player of that quality that can go to Manchester City, is there a doubt at the back of your mind, not only the situation you're walking into, seeing what run they're on, also all the charges as well. You could be facing relegation. Who knows what Pep Guardiola is going to do in the future? Does that make a difference as a player to a decision you make to leave wherever you are, maybe?
I think it would, because I think at the moment there is worry about Manchester City. There's worry about Pep Guardiola. You know, he was obviously a great coach and is still a great coach, but he's always been in control of things because they've been high up the table wherever he's been, you know, been winning things. They've been the best teams. Now he's got to try and rebuild a side that are failing badly and have the players heard enough of his voice right now. You know, that's always the question.
White noise.
Because sometimes...
It's like your analysis.
Yes, absolutely.
You're on FIFA.
But every time, you know, a manager has a great run, they have to pick and choose the right time to leave because players will get bored with their voice, even if they're the best coach in the world.
Right, there are 2 things I want to ask you, Oggy. Let's start off with that one. Is there any chance that Pep Guardiola could not be in charge by Manchester City by the end of this season?
Well, there's a chance because, you know, what is it now? One win in 12, is it? 1 win in 13?
1 in 13, yeah.
Look, this is unprecedented for Guardiola. Yeah, 1 in 13. So, listen, sitting here now, I'd be surprised if he went before the end of the season. But he left Barcelona because, and that was the end of the season, I know, but he left Barcelona because he couldn't handle the intensity and the pressure. It was too much for him. He needed a break. And the way he looks right now, you wouldn't say that isn't impossible. I don't think he will go, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Let's put it that way. He signed that 2.5-year contract, but you know, let's be honest, that doesn't mean anything in the sense that it was supposed to stop us asking the questions about Pep's future because he'd signed a contract, but ever since he signed the contract,
it's gone wrong.
The results have got worse. So, yeah, exactly. So, look, I think he'll still be there, but let's not forget this season's got 8 months to go for Man City, or 7.5 months to go because of the Club World Cup. So, if he's feeling tired and fatigued now, and his players are, what are they going to be like in July when they've got to spend a month in the US, when they should be on holiday? playing the Club World Cup. So it's a long slog ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went, but equally, I don't think it's going to happen.
So then the next question, January transfer window, as I mentioned, opens this week. Who are they going to target?
Well, they want Martin Zubimendi at Sociedad, and I think that Liverpool want him as well. But as we know, with clubs in the Basque Country, it's very hard to get them out, and he's not made any kind of indication that he wants to leave Sociedad. So I'm not sure that's going to be an easy one to do. Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle is a player that they like. That could be an easy one to do because Newcastle will take the money to get their, help turn their wheels of transfer recruitment as well. So that's a possibility. But, Bruno Guimaraes has not had the greatest season at Newcastle. Would he make City better? He'd make them younger. They definitely need some more legs in midfield, like Robbo said. But they're the two players that they are particularly keen on right now. They could get both. I mean, they've got the money. They had about, I think, £140 million in profit from transfer dealings the last 18 months. So the money's there to go. And I agree with Robbo in the sense that players will be concerned about what the future holds for City in the next 6 months. But they'll just throw money at it. Money eventually talks. And if you're being offered a deal at Man City that is so big that you can't turn it down, then you take your chances, don't you? But in terms of what they want to bring in, it's definitely at least one midfielder to bring down the average age and add some energy to the midfield.
Let's not forget, at the start of the season, Manchester City were favourites to win the Champions League. They have now gone to... If you're betting 7-1 on Manchester City, you need to give yourself a shake, Robbo, I would suggest.
Absolutely. You look at those teams. Liverpool are the best team at the moment. Arsenal right up there. Barcelona, we've seen them be topsy-turvy.
Yes.
Bayern Munich are a team that might just cause one or two
Inter be 16 and Manchester City 7-1. No. There you are. That's where your bets are going. Of course, they got PSG. Is there any argument to say, Robbo, it's best they just lose to PSG? That's it. Done and dusted. Don't have to worry about the Champions League and then just focus on the league? Mark?
I don't think so. I think because the Champions League could be their best route back into the Champions League. Let's be honest, they might not finish in the top 4 or 5. So, and look, the Champions League is also it's a cup tie, isn't it? They could get to the final like Dortmund did last year with a fairly soft run, and then it's a one-off game. And I think Man City by then will have some players back. They've still got that ability to beat anybody in the world, even though it's less likely these days. So I think that they'll be desperate to stay in the Champions League if they continue to drift in the Premier League. So, like I say, it could be the best route back into the Champions League.
What's been said, Rob, we've always seen it, Oggy, haven't we? The fact that Manchester City have made decisions at the right time to get rid of players, like Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, Torres, people like that. Yet you look at the players who've really performed this season, Cole Palmer once again, Rodgers at Aston Villa. Is there a question as to what's going on and what's going wrong as to why they're letting these players go who are excelling at other places?
I think that's become an issue now because, City have probably got the best academy anywhere in the world right now. They have so many players, and if you look at the players that have gone through there and left and become players somewhere else, it's staggering. You've got those two you mentioned. You've got people like Pedro Porro, Brahim Diaz. You've even got David Brooks at Bournemouth. There's players everywhere. But I think what City's problem is that apart from Phil Foden, who, stayed the course, and a lot of the time people are asking when he's going to play, these young players have moved on before they've had a chance really to prove themselves worthy of Man City. I think if you look at the likes of Man United and Liverpool over the years, they've always had great young kids coming through, but they've backed their kids, they've given them time to produce, and they've come through. They don't let their best players go. Liverpool didn't let Steven Gerrard or Carragher or Michael Owen leave as kids, or United didn't let the class of 92 go. City have let a lot go. Morgan Rodgers is an obvious one. Cole Palmer is the one that everyone talks about, but maybe some of these players that they've either decided they're not worth waiting for or they didn't see the potential in the first place. I'm not quite sure which is worse there, but I think they've banked about £400 million in profit on these players in the last 10 years that they've produced. But some of those players, if you had Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia in your team right now, Tosin Oderabio at the back, those players were brought through the ranks at Man City. Michael Olise was there as well. All of a sudden, you've got the basis of the team for the future, but they let them go because Pep was loyal to the players that had won the Champions League, but also that City can just buy a player at the top shelf. They can basically say, well, do we want to give this kid a chance? Do we want to give a 20-year-old Cole Palmer a chance? Or do we just want to spend £80 million on a player that will go straight into the team? And that's what they've done. I think they're paying the price for that now because they're basically, their great young talent is now making opponents better. Chelsea have got 4 of them. So, yeah, I think City are paying the price for letting their young kids go, and it's harming them there because those young kids could have been the backbone of a future team.
Yeah, Robert, you coached obviously a lot at youth team level. Is there something that makes the difference when you're making that decision whether to release them or not? Because on the outside looking in, Cole Palmer, everyone can see what talent he has. So what was going on there that managed to...
Well, you have to get the difference between releasing a player and selling him for a lot of money, as Oggy just said.
Yes, yeah. And he went, 40 million to Chelsea, I think?
What Oggie's saying, and I agree completely, until you've played a player on a regular basis in the first team over a period of time, you will never know whether they're going to be good enough to play at that level. Look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah is a player that was rejected, fairly rejected at Chelsea. Kevin De Bruyne, another player that was rejected at Chelsea. And they've gone on to be top-class players. And if you have a youth system or you think you're producing great players, but you can go and buy the best players, those players will be stunted in their growth. And eventually, they get fed up. Right. And the manager will say, well, actually, I'm not sure whether he's going to...
And then the problem we've had this time is where Manchester City have recruited Savio, Doku. They haven't stepped up to them.
No, they haven't been as good as some of the players that will probably come through the youth team. Manchester City, and Oggie's absolutely right, I cover their youth team when they play in the FA Youth Cup. They've got some great players, some really top-class players. But again, unless you play them and you put them in the team on a regular basis, you won't know whether they're going to be good enough. And that's what other clubs are now taking that gamble on them, playing them regularly in the team. Oh, suddenly they're world-class players.
Saturday, no, today's Saturday, isn't it? Sunday, we'll see Premier League action return, including the early game, Leicester City against Manchester City. Manchester City has 7-2 on to go. Surely, Robbo. Surely not.
Well, Leicester have got a little bit of pace in their front line that could cause Man City problems, but you'd expect Man City to try and dominate the game. Yeah. Remember, Leicester are a team that were booed off at home only a few days ago when they lost to Wolves. So Ruud van Nistelrooy is trying to find his best team and his best formation. So it should be a game that Man City, I won't say get back on track, but they get 3 points. So that's all I'd say.
Yeah. Yes, Mark.
Yeah, I think this is a game that you look at. I mean, City have to turn it around at some point. I think Leicester are struggling right now. The Van Nistelrooy bounce lasted about as long as Ruben Amorim's bounce, so I think Man City should win this one and get back to winning ways. But it's impossible to say these days after that run they've had. It's just, who knows?